Welcome back to PRN Test Drive. I'm James, and it has been snowing here in Canada. But I am extremely lucky this week because I have got the best winter machine to tackle any type of weather. This is the 2024 Land Rover Defender 110. Now, it is no secret that we absolutely love the Defender platform here on PRN. Just at the beginning of 2024, I was able to show you the Defender 130 Outbound. So naturally, when this Defender 110 P400X came across my desk here in Montreal, I absolutely had to grab it because the 130 impressed me so much. I thought it was one of the best luxury SUVs that I have ever taken because not only is the 110 and the 130 extremely luxurious, they are able to handle any type of terrain, any type of weather condition. It feels like a tank and looks like a tank from the outside, but then you hop on the inside and you've got luxury like crazy. Now I also have the Explorer pack once again, which means I have the box, the ladder, and an intake on the column right here, which is all really, really cool. I've got a new color as well. I don't have the V8 engine. The engine in here is going to be exactly the same as the one on the 130, but trust me, that still wouldn't stop me from buying it. So since it is -20 currently here in Quebec with the wind chill, I'm gonna hop inside, we're gonna get this thing on the road, and I'm gonna tell you why, if you've got $125,000 laying around, this SUV is what you should spend it on. All right, so on the road now, it's so much warmer in here because I've got my heated seats, my heated steering, the works inside. So I am a lot warmer. I got the t-shirt on now so that we could actually talk to you about how the Defender drives and just why I find the Defender 110 to just be this sweet spot in the Land Rover Defender lineup. I just think that the 130 is too big. I just couldn't use it, especially the Outbound package. There's no third row. It's basically all trunk space. Whereas this one, I have a third row that is heated. You know, let that sink in. The third row in here is heated. That is so rare. I don't feel like I've really ever said that that is happening unless I'm driving a Range Rover, like a normal Range Rover that's a 3-row, or a Defender. So that's really cool. You kind of get the luxury there. And then, you know, it can be luxury. It can also be sport. But I don't know how to necessarily have like a sport mode. I just have kind of like a transmission that can go into sport mode. So let's put my foot down here. Oh yeah, it gets up there. It gets up there decently well for something that this size. It's definitely no V8, but I do have a 3-liter, 6-cylinder turbocharged engine with a mild hybrid system on board. That is giving us 395 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. It's paired with a great 8-speed automatic transmission, and of course, it's all-wheel drive because this thing has terrain modes like you would not believe. I mean, I have a snow mode. I have just basically any terrain you can think of. It's pretty much the Defender can handle it. And I was able to drive it in some winter conditions. You can see that when I filmed, I was filming in a parking lot that hadn't been cleared yet, but the roads are now cleared. The sun's out, you know, there's no more snow on the road, but I have been driving through quite some bad weather with the Defender. Now I do have winter tires, so that does help me a lot. They're mandatory here in Quebec as of December 1st. That does make a difference, but I still think that you still should always put winter tires on. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about how it is to actually drive in the winter. It is just great. Like, I put it into snow mode, but I don't even think I needed to. I think I could have kept it in comfort mode the entire time, and this thing just stays planted to the road like it's nothing. I'm telling you, this thing is an absolute tank. It just handled everything. And we had winds too. We had 50-kilometer winds here. It was gusting around. This Defender wasn't moving a muscle. It was unfazed by snow. Yeah, I just feel like I could drive this thing through like a you know, maybe a lower tier category hurricane and just absolutely not even notice that it's happening. You know, like this thing will keep you safe. And it's got so much room in it that like you can camp in it even if you want to. Even if you don't even need the Outbound package. You don't need the extended box that the 130 seems to have. You just could take this one, fold the seats down, and you've got a ton of space anyways. I just think like the P400X is absolutely the best bang for buck. Of course, it's a really, really unaffordable, 125 grand. You know, I know what people are gonna say, right? Like, you know, it's great, you think it's the best SUV ever, but it's not reliable. But unfortunately, I just can't speak to it. I can't tell you that, you know, this thing is going to be reliable 5 years down the road. I don't know. I've never owned one for 5 years. So if you own one for 5 years, let us know in the comments, just so that we have an idea of how long these Defenders tend to last. But I mean, so far this thing has lasted almost the entire, you know, end of fall right up to now. It's got 5,500 kilometers on it. So far, so good. So the ride quality in the Defender 110 is extremely good. I've got the adjustable air suspension, so I can go all the way up and all the way down. So let's say, I've got say it floods again, like it did once here in the summer here in Montreal. Say the streets are full of water and I just don't want to take the risk. Well, I can put the suspension as high as this thing can go. It actually goes quite high up. It's quite cool to see it happen. And then also when I park the car, it will lower me to an access height. So that way it's easy to step in and out of your Defender. I love things like that. Range Rover does these things really, really well. It's a system I've come to enjoy, and it really makes for a comfortable ride quality. Handling is also very good as well. In the snow, in the dry, like I said, whatever you want to drive in, you're going to really have confidence in it. It's not, it's not the most direct feedback feeling in the world. I wouldn't expect that from this thing, but I definitely know what the car is going to do. I kind of can almost feel all of the wheels pulling along, especially when I was driving through that parking lot to go and film, and I put it in the snow mode. You can kind of feel the back wheels kind of, pushing me along quite well, and kind of the system deciding which one needs more power. It's a kind of a cool feeling, and you really do feel it through the seat and a little bit through the steering wheel. But I always have confidence, and I know what the vehicle is going to do and where I need to put my wheels in order to get somewhere. So that's, you're really not going to have any issue there. Now, if I had just a ton of money to blow on vehicles, let's say I won the lottery or something crazy like that, I would have a ton of crazy cars to drive in the summer, and then I would have the best Defender that money, maybe I'd get the V8. Okay, we'll say that. But but still, even if the V8 wasn't available, I needed a winter car right away, I had a ton of money, the P400X is almost no compromise. Sure, you don't get the sound and the speed, but really out of an SUV, I'm not really looking for that. I'm more looking for, what can it do with terrain? How does it handle Quebec winters? Because they're rough. Could I go off-roading? Could I do camping? Could I kind of do whatever I wanted to, including get the groceries from time to time and carry the kids around in the best way possible? Then I'm absolutely walking into, I'm walking into a Range Rover dealership and I'm getting this. So it's great to drive, but let's talk about the design of it. I love the design of it. I think, it kind of looks like a Bronco a little bit. I get Bronco vibes. I get Jeep vibes as well. I also get, kind of G-Wagon vibes, but it's the less crazy and honestly more affordable than a G-Wagon. So if you don't have G-Wagon money, but you got Range Rover money, you're in business with the Defender, because, to me, they kind of look similar in a little bit of ways. They got that kind of boxy shape that seems to still be doing well. I see quite a bit of Defenders around my area as well, especially when you go into the nicer neighborhoods. A lot of people are breaking them out in the winter here, and you can definitely tell why. I mean, it's just got everything I need. The infotainment is complicated, but still, once you're used to a Range Rover infotainment, you understand everything. You don't really need an engineering degree or anything like that. I like the gauge cluster display, very nice and laid out. You can kind of customize it to have map, whatever you want, you got it. It's got 360-degree cameras. It's got it makes the car almost kind of see-through, so you can always see where the lines are if you have trouble parking vehicles. But this is a big car, so some people might have some trouble, so that's good. Parking sensors, it'll tell you even if you're too close to something and you can't open the back trunk. So it's all stuff like that that's just really, really good. Also, speaking of trunk space, it's you got trunk space in abundance, and you don't need the 130 for it. You've just got so much. I don't use that third row. I won't. I love the fact that it's heated, but I won't use it. So I'll always keep it down, and that means I have a ton of trunk space. It is ridiculous, and it's so good. I could fit, if you're a hockey person, here in Canada, we've got a lot of that. So you're going to want to put the hockey bags in there. You can fit quite a bit. You can, maybe fit a couple of team members in that trunk. So very good there as well. It's also heated, climate controlled in the back as well, ventilated seats up front. I mean, it just is endless, the amount of luxurious stuff I have. Visibility is really good. I've got big mirrors. When I turn off my camera, because I have my baby in the car and I want to watch her, then my vision gets obstructed a little bit by the massive spare tire in the back, but it's really nothing to complain about, because usually I'm going to use the digital rear view camera. Very good at night, very good in the day, and it's high up on the vehicle, so even when it was snowing quite heavily and blowing wind, I still didn't lose my digital camera, because it's so high up in the vehicle, it just didn't get dirty, which is good as well. So that is going to do it for my kind of second run in the Defender. I absolutely had to take it. I really wanted to see what the 110 had to offer, and I do like it a lot more than the 130. I just don't need all that space, and I still would take the Explorer package because it looks really cool with the ladder and the box. I love it. I think it looks rugged. it just handles everything. If you're buying this thing for a winter car and you've got the cash to spend on it, you're absolutely not going to be disappointed, because this thing handles the weather like an absolute champion, and you are high up off the ground. Just like, I just love it. You know what? I don't know if it's reliable. I can't speak to it, but it is one of my favorite SUVs that I have driven twice now in 2024. So both the 130 and the 110 are probably like in the top 5, if not number 1 and 2 on my top 5 SUVs to own in the winter. So that being said, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. I hope this helped you kind of make your buying decision. If you want to check out the 130 video that I did all the way back at the beginning of 2024, feel free to check that out if you want to see the different kind of specs and different interior stuff that's going on there. It's a little bit more of a full tour on that one too, because the interior really doesn't change all that much aside from color. So you can go and check that out. Thanks so much for watching. As always, we've got a couple more vehicles on my end just to end off the year. I will see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Take care.